Hello and welcome to CallTower's very first CT Cloud podcast. I'm Kade Herbert. I'm the host of the podcast, and with us today is William Rubio. William is our CRO at CallTower. I don't know if you want to explain your credentials anymore, William, or if you just want to get into things.
No, just been part of the Call Tower family here for the past 8 years. Enjoyed the growth that we've been able to experience together, and looking forward to this podcast.
Excellent, excellent. Well, yeah, we've had some unique growth, especially lately, of course, with everything that's going on in the world. People are very much looking forward to a solution that bails them out of all the jams that COVID has put them into. And that kind of leads into our first topic today. We're going to talk a little bit about how the modern workplace has a very critical need for both mobility and functionality and flexibility. All three of those things need to work together with every communication tool at their disposal in order for the companies and organizations to function properly. You can't just count on the technology to work everywhere all the time without making some necessary changes, maybe even moving to a new UCaaS solution, that sort of thing. So we're going to dig into that. What's one of the kind of crazier changes you've seen, William, about kind of this brave new world we're living in, where everyone basically needs a mobile and flexible communication solution?
Well, it's really the new reality, right? I mean, we went from, and when I say we, I'm just saying pretty much worldwide. Everybody
Pretty
went
much, yeah, exactly.
pretty much went from being a workforce that for the most part went into an office environment, and overnight it went to you have to work remote and you have to be able to function remotely, just like if you were working from home. I'm sorry, just like if you were working from the office.
Yeah.
So instantly that changed. I know, talking from experience myself, Call Tower, we did that in about a week's time frame. We obviously were prepared to go more to a 100% remote workforce. We had some employees that were already remote, so it was pretty easy for us to do. But a lot of folks are not in telecommunications or in IT, right? So it's a bigger challenge for them
Yeah,
overall to go
exactly.
into an organization. Yeah.
Well,
into
I
that
mean,
type
even
of.
within our company, I'm sure there are some positions that struggled a lot more with, you know, moving to a completely remote option versus people like you who were already working remote, or people like me who could easily just make the transition as easy as moving my laptop.
That's right. That's right. And we have to account, and that's one of the things that Call Tower brings to the table when you're looking at any type of application like that, to go more to a work from home environment, or a remote work environment, or even a hybrid. Call Tower is here to really help our customers walk through that journey, right? Making sure that they have the proper documents that they could share, tutorials that they could share with their employees. Also doing some live trainings as well. Also make sure that they have access to our 24/7 US based support. So if questions or challenges come up that IT needs to work on, you have somebody to work with, a partner, a true partner that understands the solution that we're delivering to the table, and an expert really in the solution that we're bringing to the table. I mean, that's why we focus on one of them being Microsoft Teams, which is by far probably the largest collaboration tool that's been out there as far as the growth over the last year. And we're experts in it. We are experts. We are known for that overall, and it's a real big value to our customers when they know that we're working with somebody that knows how to utilize that and put it to use within different departments within a company. Because what might be right for marketing might not be right for sales, might not be right for finance, might not be right for your service department, your project management department, right? It changes depending on the target audience that you're working with.
Right, absolutely. And from what I've heard, and some people have different usage needs. I mean, I'm in and out of meetings pretty much every day. But there are a lot of people in our company who probably don't take as many meetings, don't do so much customer interaction. Their usage is, much lower than the usage of someone in support, or you, William, you're in sales calls all day. You have a very high level of usage. So Call Tower has the ability to mitigate that and kind of work with companies on licensing. And maybe you could dig into that a little bit.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I think when you're looking at an application like Microsoft Teams with CallTower, it really is a great collaboration tool. So you're right. I mean, somebody may be like myself in my position. I'm using it more for video calls and for communicating with our partners, with our vendors, and with our customers, right? That are all external. But we do have, let's say, for example, a development team that they're writing code all day, so they have to collaborate through some type of documentation, right? Which is very important for them to be able to look at notes, look at all the updates that are being made, look at different firmware releases and programming. So they're programming all day. They need to communicate, not necessarily maybe via phone or via video, but they
Right.
have to have some shared experience that they're all able to continue to move forward with a specific project that they're doing. So when you start to look at all those together, and you look at how you can collaborate. So I can pretty much on a dime just make a change with video, with audio, and then also with those shared documents overall, OneNote documents and so forth. It's very important to make sure that I have that all very secure, which is obviously one of the most important things that an organization is looking at. And then also one depository for that so that you don't have shadow IT, right? You don't have people
Yeah.
using
No
a
double dipping.
no double dipping or using a third party type of software that they shouldn't be using and could be exposed to sharing sensitive information for an organization. And we help with that, right? We help by making sure that it's one collaboration tool that customers could use, and it is going to work for all different types of employees, just making sure that they understand how to utilize those all together. And when you're looking at Call Tower, we just don't bring the voice component within Microsoft Teams. We also bring what they call the cloud service provider. We bring that Office 365 licensing as well. So if a customer is looking to partner with somebody that could basically play that dual role, Call Tower is here for that. We don't necessarily need to. If you have that directly with Microsoft or even through one of our existing partners, we welcome that, obviously. But again, we're here just to provide that expertise to you in either fashion.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you talked a little bit about security, and I imagine security is really front of mind, especially recently. Of course, the U.S. had a major security break, and there's been, security breaks at Equifax and all over the place. And people, I imagine when COVID came and people realized that they would have to move to a remote solution, I imagine one of the major concerns was, well, a paper in my desk is about as secure as it gets. But if everything has to be in the cloud, that really opens us up to vulnerability. But of course, Microsoft has a lot of those concerns waived if I know my if I know my Microsoft right.
Yeah, they do, and they do a really good job of doing multi-factor authentication, and they really kind of give you the keys to the house, and how you want to design the interior of it is really up to every organization that we partner with and we work with, right? So if you want to set up different settings within your security environment that you need some type of multi-factor authentication, we all probably get it, that you get a text message,
Oh yeah.
to your device and so forth. And you could set that up daily, you could set that up weekly, you could set that up monthly. You can never set it up. Obviously, it really just comes down to how you want to
Probably
set that
not
up.
well advised, but you could
Probably
never set
not.
it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, probably not. So, you just got to understand with your IT organization what those policies are gonna be set up. Usually, your CIO, your CTO kind of starts pushing those policies down. And obviously, some organizations are a little bit more sensitive to others. But
Right.
nowadays everybody's experiencing breaches, right? Whether it's good or not. I mean, you hear about it all the time of people's data just being held ransom
Yeah.
by all these organizations, both domestic and international. And they can really cripple an organization if you're running everything in the cloud or over a private server, and you don't know exactly what's going to be access to there, and they hold it. I mean, it could completely close your company down.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you mentioned, it is kind of up to the IT group of the company to make the wisest decisions. Some users might not need that much security, but obviously some users would need more. But part of the gig here at Call Tower is something we call Call Tower Connect, is our single pane of glass admin portal, and it's something that we can use to administrate, well, or our customers rather use to administrate every single solution that we have. And it's kind of a very unique and extremely effective portal. I don't know if you could dig into a little bit more about how Microsoft Teams and how this kind of further mobilizes the workforce, that that IT admins can use this from wherever they are.
Sure. Well, one of the great advantages, I mean, we have a lot of them, but one of the great advantages with CallTower is that we drive to provide a solution to a customer instead of a product. So we're not single threaded. So yeah, we talk about Microsoft, but we have other products as well that either could work independently of some of the Microsoft solutions, or that could work in conjunction with those Microsoft solutions. So that sounds great initially when you start talking about it, and it is a huge competitive advantage that we bring to our customers. The backside of that is they say, well, great, now I'm working in Microsoft, I'm working in Cisco.
Right. Yeah, we need 3 IT teams.
Exactly. So how do I log in? How do I know how to do this? And in this system, is it different than the other? And what CallTower Connect does is it really just eliminates that risk, because we're bringing everything into a single pane of glass. So you have one login for each individual admin. Everything is tracked, so we could see when it was that somebody did the last change, who it was. It's all documented. So from a security standpoint, the IT admins from each individual customer actually sees that documentation. But now if I want to add a user from Microsoft, if I want to add a user for Cisco, I have the ability to actually go ahead and do that through CallTower Connect. So I want to add somebody, I don't have to go into Microsoft or Cisco or CT Cloud Voice. I can just do it from CallTower Connect. So it's a big advantage to be able to do that stuff and do it as quickly as you want with doing that single pane of glass.
Absolutely, yeah. I can imagine that a lot of IT professionals, when you go to an organization, and I imagine you meet with your decision makers and or your IT people, and I imagine when they tell you, hey, we've got this admin portal that basically does it all. I bet some of the relief is is palpable in the room when you bring that up.
Yeah, it does, and we're consistently adding more and more what we call sprints, which are basically upgrades and feature releases into CallTower Connect. That's been the brainchild of our development team going back to July of 2013, that's when we officially released it. We have all of our thousands and thousands and thousands of users, hundreds of thousands of users that are using that daily. So it's very stable, and it continues to work well with all the different core platforms that we have, and that ease of use is very important. If at 2 a.m, you decide that you want to be adding a user, or you want to change some admin rights to a specific user, we're here to help you. But at the same time, we're going to give you the tools to go ahead and do it yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. If you need to make an admin change while you're on vacation, there's even I believe the CallTower Connect app where you can just log on and make it happen, which is pretty fantastic. And that leads into just how mobile and flexible the CallTower's UCaaS solutions are. Obviously, Microsoft Teams is the big name right now. I think in our next episode, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into how Cisco kind of fits into this whole scheme. But Microsoft Teams obviously is taking off. I think last we heard in October, we had something like 115 million daily active users, just skyrocketing from how things were before the pandemic. And it speaks to the fact that they haven't moved to a different new solution. Like, obviously it's working, and it's working well for them, and people are getting used to it. And it's the new normal a little bit, and it's really going to enable both remote and hybrid workspaces, which is something that we all need right now.
Yeah, in about a year's time frame, Microsoft went from 20 million users in November of 2019, which was their fastest growing app ever, to 115 million users pretty much almost at the same time in 12 months, right, in 1 year. So, I mean, explosion is not even probably the right word to use. I don't even know
right.
what is there, but there's been a big increase. We've seen a demand of more than 100% increase in demand for Microsoft Teams compared to last year. Primarily because of the way unified communications continues to work on it. Eventually that is just a great drive. If I'm using Teams to collaborate, the one thing that's always been missing of any collaboration tool is really the voice. And CallTower is able to bring that to our customers, add it into the video, really layer it on to be not just an audio conferencing bridge, but also replace that clunky old PBX that's usually sitting in an office and making it a little bit more challenging for people to use. And this just does it all. So whether you're on your mobile device, your house phone, an office computer, a work computer, your laptop, why do I have to switch? I should be able to use the same platform and the same application just like on any other device. And that's what Microsoft and CallTower bring to the table together.
Awesome. Well, I think that actually wraps things up for us today. Thank you so much for joining us today, William. I think we'll be having you join us for the next episode as well when we dig into kind of how Cisco fits into this whole work from anywhere new world that we're living in. So thank you for your time, and we thank everyone for listening in. This has been the CallTower CT Cloud podcast, and thank you for having us. We'll be back soon.